Hello, welcome to the Eclectic Reader. Listen to great books and stories while you use your eyes and hands for other things. Now here's your host, Madison Mason.
Hello again, this is Madison Mason. Welcome to Chapter 21 of The Grey Quarry Boys. We've met a lot of characters so far in this rich tale of life in mid-century rural South. We hope you've enjoyed it so far, and let's go on. The Grey Quarry Boys, Chapter 21, Spring Hollow. Craven Bumgadner trotted along the deer tracks through the deep pine woods, silent and swift as a Cherokee at courier stride, feet and breath in rhythm, covering the red clay hills with silent flying footfall. Craven thought he was secret as a white-tailed deer who watched in the shadows as he flew by, unseeing, boy blind. In 20 hard-run minutes he stood on the hill before the entrance to Spring Hollow, listening in the wind. Hearing nothing but breeze and birds, he gave the whistle, softly at first, then stronger. No one in the hideout, Craven trotted down to the juniper bush that guarded the entrance to the waterfall. He squeezed around the bush, climbed past the fall and Skull Rock, pausing a moment to make sure no one was in the hollow, then hopped down the stones to the mossy floor of the hideout. Craven sniffed the air, but all he could smell was green and the wild, gamey scent of the coons who came at night to fish the stream and wash their paws and play. Sunlight streamed in yellow shafts, broken only by the bold colors of butterflies flitting through the lilting breeze. Light bounced from papery wings like silent splatters of paint, to disappear in shadow again, that exact moment never to be repeated. Craven squatted at the safe. He moved the rock from the pine root, pulled out the canvas pack and opened it. Several pipes fell on the ground before him. Craven loaded his corncob pipe with rabbit tobacco and lit up. He went to the mossy ridge of the bank and sat in the sun, dangling his bare feet in the spring that ran through the hollow. He lay back smoking contentedly, blowing large lazy rings that drifted and splintered among the filtering pine boughs. And he thought of ways to kill his drunk old man. Craven imagined a to-do list of vengeance. He saw himself shoving Hank off a cliff in front of the 9:15 express to Jefferson, or down the well. He shot his father with his own shotgun, chopped off his head like his old man had done to one of his favorite chickens, slipped rat poison into his whiskey. He saw himself setting Japanese booby traps with sharp bamboo spikes in the woods, sawing his old man in pieces at the sawmill, and crushing him with the crane at the quarry. He laughed aloud at his ferocious fantasies, until the pain of what had happened that morning came seeping back, and he broke into sobs that racked his skinny form and hurt his ribs with grief. He couldn't stop crying, and he wanted to die. He was trying to protect his mother from one of his father's drunk rages when he got slapped around, and he'd do it again if he had to. He wished he had the guts to kill his old man. His troubles on that score would soon be over, but there was no way out. Craven again pulled himself together, glad no one was around to witness his weakness. He shook his head. He stashed the pipe in the root safe and walked to the big candlestick pine that stood 50 feet off the top of the hill above Skull Rock, its taproot deep in the rich soil of the stream. He shinnied up the base of the tree and climbed from limb to limb, higher and higher, the red bark leaving dark stains of pitch on his hands and forearms. An angry squirrel cussed and dived off a bough into the rising breeze and sailed away to grab hold of the scrubs several feet below. Craven kept climbing until his head broke through the top of the tree. He held the swaying mass and stood high above the woods, surveying the surrounding countryside, unseen and omnipotent. The air was clean, sweat evaporated off his brow, and the uncaring breeze rumpled his drying hair. This felt good. Then he rode the tree. He rocked the thin top of the pine back and forth, whipping it around in a circle until he was in rhythm with its tensile soul. He sensed just how much bend it would take in any direction without cracking, and he let the tree run. The pine whipped him back and forth, and a thrill ran through Craven from between his legs to the back of his throat. A delicious euphoria swirled in him, washed the vicious reality of his violent mourning. He was one with the tree, and he howled in pure joy. Roiling bubbles of laughter erupted from his wind-filled mouth. He screamed like a wild savage as he whipped the tree faster and faster. The pine seemed to respond, pliant and graceful, as his laughter drifted away across the tops of the forest to the lazy brown river miles in the misty distance. When Craven finally calmed, he hugged the center of the pine and let the wind and smells wash over his limp body. Everything was quiet now, peaceful, natural. Craven hung there high in the black pine, spent and empty of hate. The rough bark pressed against his freckled cheek, and the sweet smell of pine pitch intoxicated him. An easy wind rocked up the treetop as his pale eyes closed, and Craven drifted slowly off to sleep. A red-tailed hawk swooped past in a wide arc on the rising breeze to see this creature, too large to kill, in this place where it did not belong. Smooth pinions sliced the air in arid silence. Black button eyes missed nothing as she made her pass and lifted away on the crosswind.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of The Eclectic Reader. Please go on to the next numbered episode to continue. Also, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. If you'd like to help support the project, you can donate under Madison Mason at Patreon. And please, check out our website, kltkrdr.com, for more information.
Hi, this is Madison Mason. I want to personally thank you for listening to The Eclectic Reader and invite you to share your experience, your thoughts, and your suggestions. We have many great books lined up for the future, but if you have requests for anything that is in the public domain, please email us at kltkrdr@gmail.com.
kltkrdr@gmail.com